Say what's up, what's happening, you know. I'm gonna kick some flavor to y'all real quick, man. I ain't really chopped it up in the, where I want to in a little minute. I just been doing little smaller videos, but I'm come back around this time, bro, and I wanna put something in your ear. You hear me? I wanna, just chop it up real quick. Y'all know the order. Y'all know how I play. Guy number one for me, and that's that. Number two, I appreciate y'all. So I was just, replaying life and replaying my life, as I do when I sit outside and stuff like that. I just sit around and replay my life and, and remain humble, remain grateful for the things that I've been through and the things I survived. And one of the things that I had to understand was, you know, the order, the steps that are taken, right? And how we often want to bypass the steps to get to where we want to be. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to We don't want to crawl. We just want to go ahead and start walking. We don't want to walk. We just want to go ahead and start running. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand, it's the human nature. It's how a baby is born. Like they can't automatically start running until they perfect crawling, until walking, and then get to those levels. You know what I'm saying? You don't run until you're comfortable with walking first. You can't walk until you have been comfortable enough with crawling and pulling up on stuff. Same thing with a child. So that's how life works. You dig what I'm saying? You have to perfect the craft before you get to the next one. You have to perfect the level that you own before you get to the next one. You understand what I'm saying? So the problem that a lot of us have is we try to skip the crawling stage, crawl before you walk. You understand? That's what you can consider the start over. See, what people got to understand is this: nothing of value floats to the top. Nothing. Most people dive to go get the pearls and all that and bring it back up. Because nothing of value floats to the top. You got to go get that. And it's usually at the bottom. So if you feel yourself at the bottom, that's where your jewels are. You see what I'm saying? The lessons get good. The lessons, become a lot clearer as you grow. But before you can go anywhere, you have to get your foundation straight. You got to get the bottom straight. You can't build nothing on a rocky foundation, on a weak foundation. You got to get your bottom straight. You dig what I'm saying? So the reason why you have to revisit that bottom step, the reason why you can't get to the walking stage of life yet, because you haven't perfected the crawling stage. There's more jewels down there. You have to master that bottom level. I remember I used to have a 1-bedroom apartment. It was filled with roaches and all types of stuff because that's all my money could afford at that time. And I was a newly single father at that time. And did I like being there? Of course not. But I had to make the best of it because at the end of the day, that's what my money could afford. And what I had to realize was, that's where the jewels are. That's where your faith in whatever your creator is, that's where you have to develop that and develop work ethic and find solutions to problems to get you up out of the area that you're in, the things that you're in that you don't want to be in. You know what I'm saying? It's at the bottom when you got to figure this thing out. I had to start back over. Granted, I asked God for this, to teach me what you're trying to teach me so I can be better for my daughter. At that time, it was just my oldest daughter at the time. And what I had to understand was, okay, I was put into this roach-filled apartment because in the area that I was staying in, but what I had to do was make the best of it. So I had to buy bombs every other day, or I had to use Raid every other day. That's what I had to do. It is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't want to be there, but I knew that was in my crawling stage. You dig what I'm saying? Then when I was able to walk a little bit, I was placed into a 2-bedroom apartment in the same neighborhood, but that's what my money could afford, and I had a relationship with those people. You understand what I'm saying? And so by that time now, my second daughter was born. I was with my child's mother at the time of her son. So we had to then, we able to walk a little bit. So at the time, I didn't want to be there, but that's what we had to do, and we had to be humble. So granted, I don't want to be here. We're not going to treat it like it's just trash. No, this is our home, and we're going to treat it as such. We dressed that thing up. We had to be humble. You know what I'm saying? And what God was showing me was, if you be grateful for what I'm doing right now, if you do what I asked you to do, I'm going to give you what you didn't ask me for. If you do what I asked you to do and you be humble for what I'm asking you to do, I'm going to give you what you didn't ask me for. I just wanted a home. You know, when I was in the walking stage, I said, okay, God, I think I can run now. I think the running is the house. I think I'm ready. And when I applied for the house, when I applied to become a homeowner, I was accepted. And I wound up getting I asked for a good school and a safe neighborhood. And I wound up getting a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, an acre of land, and 3 storage buildings. What I didn't ask for was the acre of land and 3 storage buildings. Because I was grateful for the few God made me rulers over a bigger thing. I didn't ask for that, but it came with it. I got the biggest field in the neighborhood. Because at the end of the day of my humbleness, my favor, because I was humble, I had to crawl before I walked. You understand what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when I talk to people, I hear a lot of people that's trying to run from the crawling stage. No, that's what the jewels are. See, I don't become this until I had to develop this guy at the bottom. The guy that y'all like to hear from now, I had to learn those lessons down there at the bottom. You can't skip steps. And if you still feel like you struggling to walk, it's because it's the wisdom in your crawling stage that you're trying to skip. You can't skip it. You got to go through it. Life is never there to hurt you. Find the proper perspective and you'll find the peace in it. But I'm going to tell you this as a grown man. If I see you trying to skip the crawling step, don't try to run at me because you see me running. You trying to come to me because you see me running, but you trying to skip the crawling step. No, I'm going to send you back to the crawling step. And I'm not going to, again, I don't go back and forth with nobody. It's not negotiable. You ain't got to listen to me, fine. But over here, we done crawled, we walked, we ran. We followed the steps. We followed the proper procedures. I earned this. I got a friend of mine, and you know, she know who I'm talking about. I got a good friend of mine. I remember, we was talking about this the other day. I remember she used to walk to work and was in school because she was determined to do her thing. She walked to work and was in school. This was like 2005, 2006. She's walking to work and in school. 2021, this girl is a beast. We talking about like 10K a month. Dude, what are we talking about here? And I'm happy for her because she put that work in. You understand what I'm saying? When you look at her and I remember her walking to work now to where she is today, where she can pay for vacations and all this other stuff and pay for the whole family to go on vacations after we was talking about that. She put that work in. You still know what I'm saying? She understood she had to crawl before she walked. Now she's able to fly. You can't skip the step. You dig what I'm saying? You can't skip your steps. You got to crawl. What you got to do. It's the same thing with a baby. Look at how a life progression. Look at a child. That's how you could develop. That's how you look at your life. Look at a child. Child has to be born, then they crawl. Then when they comfortable with crawling, then they learn to pull up on stuff. Once they learn to pull up on stuff, then they feel comfortable enough with stutter stepping or whatever, and then they able to walk. And then after they're able to walk, once they got walking down pat, then they running. It's the progress. You can't skip the step. So it's the same thing with you. You can't skip steps. But I'm gonna tell you, talking to me, and I hear you trying to run and you ain't even crawled yet. You can't be in positions where you struggling. You say, I ain't want to do this or I ain't want to do that. I ain't got no job, but I'm not going to work here. I ain't got no job, I ain't going to work there. Okay, cool. Because broke is in your future. Homeless is in your future. Don't come putting your burdens on other people because you're trying to skip steps. No. You can't be broke and sedity. No. You can't do that. If you at the bottom or whatever you consider the bottom, get your jewels down there. That's what the jewels are. The jewels are in the ground. The jewels are at the bottom. They dive to go get that. It don't float to the top. You got to dive and go get it. It's the foundation, then there's everything else on top of it. But the most important part of that home or whatever it is the foundation. Okay, how pretty it is at the top. If your foundation ain't solid, it's going to crumble. And that's what crawling does. Crawling helps you find the foundation. And when you crawling, you can look and see everything, every little cracks and crevice that's on the floor or whatever the case may be. Because once you start to walk, you ain't paying attention to that floor that much because you're looking at everything that you can see up now. That's how life works. Go through your progression. At least if you deal with me, you're going to have to because, nah, I ain't helping you skip no step. I didn't skip it. You think I'm going to do it with you? No. So, But that's one thing I want to tell y'all, man. You know, go through your step. Go through your process, man. It'll be all right. You'll be okay. Get your jewels because it's never going to float to the top. You're not going to find it floating. You got to find it at the bottom and they bring it up. Get it from the bottom and bring it up with you. So that's all I got to say, man. You know, y'all be good. Y'all be safe, man. You know, y'all be great and be cool how y'all be cool. You did.